Okay guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at the Corsair Sabre Pro. This is the non-RGB version. And guys, I'm actually really hyped about this mouse. It has really surprised me. A new mouse from Corsair, 8K hertz, like 69 grams or something for the non-RGB version. And the quality is actually really nice. So let's go more into detail on that in the video. Guys, if you like the video, hit the like button. If you love the video, hit the sub. And if you have any more video ideas for me, let me know down below in the description, in the comments, sorry. And let's jump straight into it. Okay guys, so talking about a Corsair mouse, first things we're going to have to go over is the build quality. So the build quality on this mouse is actually really solid. The scroll wheel is pretty much perfect. I don't have any complaints. For full transparency, if I could speak, I did get one to begin with. I ordered one when it first came out on pre-order. And unfortunately the scroll wheel was, not the best. It was a little bit rattly, so I ordered another one because I thought that was like a defect. I told the manufacturers I think I got a defective model, and I got another one, and this one is perfect build quality all round. The only downside to it is that the side buttons are a little bit on the movable side, but in game I don't feel them at all. I've heard that the RGB version suffers really badly with rattly left and right mouse buttons. So if you're gonna get this mouse, I would highly recommend getting the non-RGB version. It's lighter, and man, the weight balancing on this thing is really good. It's a little bit behind the sensor, but it's basically towards the center mass of the actual mouse itself, which is basically what you want. So yeah, all round Corsair did a really good job with the build quality on this mouse. So let's jump into the buttons, which is very important on a mouse because it's something that you're going to be pressing all the time. So on your mouse wheel, first of all, mouse wheel is really nice and tactile. It's got 24 steps. It sort of just drops into place every time you turn it. The only downside to the scroll wheel is that sometimes it can get caught between steps. Rarely, but it does happen, which is basically the only thing that I have as a complaint for the scroll wheel. Apart from that, it's not too loud. It's very tactile. You know where you are, and it feels good quality. Then you've got the left and right clicks. So the left and right clicks basically have no pre and post travel. I mean, they have a very slight bit of post travel, but as you can see, it's like nothing. And that's because they have the Corsair quick fire clicks, I believe now. They've like optimized their clicks or something, making them a little bit, better, basically more snappy feeling. They're quite light. I do like how light they are, but they're not so light that you're going to be accidentally pressing them. I think they're very well tuned all round. Hardly any pre or post travel. Just very good clicks all round. And they are very responsive. You can turn on in the IQ software a button optimization feature, which basically like lowers the debounce delay, so you don't get that usual 4 milliseconds. I think it's like 1 millisecond or something. But some people have been having issues where they slam the mouse very hard and it will click. I've never had that issue. I've even been trying to do it by slamming my mouse down on the table. I'm not going to do it now, but it hasn't activated for me once. Actually, that's a lie. It did happen for me once when I literally went bang, and I was like, that's the last time I'm doing it, and it actually did click. So I think if you really slam your mouse to the point where you're going to be making it fall apart, then yeah, it will. Or if you have a defective model. But if it does happen to you, just eventually it might happen, in 6 months to a year or something like that, I assume, just because of the way it's still mechanical buttons, then you can just disable it in the software and it will add a debounce delay. Then you've got the side buttons. The side buttons are usually the Achilles heel for a lot of large ergo mice, but on this mouse, pretty much perfect side buttons. I don't have any complaints with them. Hardly any pre, hardly any post. They just feel really nice. They're really good. They're in a good position. They're maybe a millimeter too high, but I think that's a good thing because the comfort groove here does put your hand does automatically put your thumb pretty close to the buttons already. And all round, guys, the buttons on this mouse I'm really impressed with. I thought it wasn't going to be great, but the overall build quality of this thing has been excellent for a Corsair mouse, and yeah, I mean, it rivals the mainstream companies right now. No complaints all round, really. Now, moving on to the shape of this thing. Now, this is the star of the show. I wasn't expecting the shape to be so damn good, but it really is good. If you're a 403 fan, a G403, if you're a Death Adder fan, but you want something a little bit better, if you're an EC fan, this mouse, I don't know. I think this is the best ergo shape I've felt so far. It's kind of like a symmetrical ergo, an asymmetrical ergo. Or is it a symmetrical? I think it's a symmetrical ergo. Because if you look at it, like, the shape is a very straight line. If I compare it to my Death Adder V2, look how curvy the Death Adder is compared to it. The Corsair feels completely different in the hand. And let me tell you, the comfort grooves on this mouse are perfect. Like, you've got a good amount of comfort grooves in the left and right clicks here, which is really nice. It lets your fingers just sit there. And then the thumb button, look how nice this, I mean, it's hard to show in the camera, but it just feels like you're in like a little cup. It's very subtle, but it's really nice. You just really feel like you have a lot of control with your thumb on this mouse. And then on the right side of the mouse here, this mouse actually taught me something new. I was always putting my fingers up like really far up the mouse, like on the side like this. And then whenever I got this ever since I got this mouse, because it flares out slightly pretty early, you're able just to rest your finger a little bit lower down, your pinky, and it just gives you a really nice feeling of control when you're holding the mouse. Like, you're just able just to really control the mouse and use all your fingers. Like, the shape is amazing. And not just that, but the hump is so good. Like, look, it goes down so gradually, right? Whereas the Death Adder falls off immediately, so you don't get hardly any thumb support. Whereas I've got the ZA series here as well, and look, very kind of similar. The ZA is definitely steeper, but you can it kind of feels similar in a way, because you just get a nice full palm support. It doesn't like overbear your palm where you've just got, you just got a mouse there and you've got no movement to readjust. But look, like, even when my palm's completely in it, like, I've got contact points all up here, all around here. When I lay my hand flat, I've got a little bit here as well. I'm still able to fully, move the mouse in and out of my hand. Like, I don't know, it just feels so good. And at a weight of like 69 grams, like, it's incredible, to be honest, how well they've made this mouse. And I'm surprised people haven't been raving about it, because for a Corsair mouse, as a large ergo, this is like 128 millimeters long. Like, it's a big boy. But for 69 grams, to be this well balanced as well, the buttons are all really high quality in my opinion. Like, oh my god. And the price, I think Corsair like really done like a 9.5 out of 10 mouse here for the price. Like, it's crazy good. The only thing that people are going to be a bit hit or miss on is the sensor positioning. The sensor position is a bit more to the front of the mouse. Some people prefer that, some people actually don't prefer that. It's all personal preference, guys. If you're really talking about it like scientifically, you could say it's an advantage, purely because when you're moving your hand left and right, because the cursor is further up the mouse, it actually creates a larger area of motion, so you're able to move your character more with your wrist. The only downside to this that I see is, because it's further away from your wrist, you're going to feel like every little minute movement, it's going to be slightly more noticeable. It's not a world of difference, because it's not like all the way up here, but it is, I would say the usual position will be where the bottom of the sensor ring is here. I would say it would usually be put there. But when you hold your mouse, it actually lines up more with your thumb, which is usually an ideal position. So, I would say actually overall it's a net positive for the sensor to be in this position. And the sensor is the 3392, so it's Corsair's own version of the 3389. It performs pretty much perfectly. I haven't had any issues with it. And it also is an 8K mouse, which is, for the price, like, it's actually insane what Corsair have done here. I'm really, really impressed. The 8K works flawlessly, just as well as my Razer Viper 8K did. The Viper 8K didn't work in Apex. It only worked at 4K, and that's the same as this mouse. It only works at 4K on Apex Legends 2. Overall, though, this mouse is crazy good. It feels really snappy, really responsive. The cable, decent. It's better than the Razer Viper 8K. I have the Razer Viper 8K right here. The Razer Viper 8K, much more stiff cable. The Corsair Sabre Pro is a much more loose cable, as you can probably see on the camera. It's much more loose. This one's way tighter, and this cable just feels way more heavy duty, whereas this one feels more like a Model O, the old Model O cables. It's not the best cable in the world, but for an 8K mouse, you can't really complain. Like, you're going to get 8K and you're going to get a good cable that's not going to distract you from your gameplay. What more do you want? It's actually just really, really good. And overall, this mouse has really impressed me. Okay, guys, quickly go over the texture. So the texture is like a textured ABS plastic. Unfortunately, it's not the most premium feeling, but it's not bad by any means. Like, you're not going to really be complaining about this plastic. It definitely does help you, it's not going to hinder your performance at all. And it's good enough. It's good enough for the price, for sure. The basically the ring around here that goes all the way around the mouse, as you can see. On the RGB version, that's glossy, whereas on this version, it's a matte plastic, the same as the rest of the shell, which is really, really nice. I didn't want to have to deal with a fingerprint magnet all the time. It's also got a little glossy Corsair logo here, and it has Sabre written across here as well, which is really nice. I wish more mice did little things like this, little tags around their mouse. Just gives it a bit more personality. And also, guys, the feet on the mouse, they came as a black dyed PTFE. These are Final Mouse core pads that I managed to fit on there, but unfortunately the feet are the main thing that let this mouse down. They just don't feel very quick. They feel quite sluggish. They might work well on a faster pad, but on a slower pad, I definitely recommend upgrading them. And then the cable itself, the cable is like the original Model O cables, which for an 8K, you know, I class it as a W. As you can see on the Viper 8K, it's way more stiff, does feel a bit more heavy duty, but when you compare it to the, like, look at this, like, look how flexible this cable is compared to, like, is a night and day difference. So yeah, overall the Corsair did a really good job on this mouse, and I'll go more into detail now. So guys, that's my review of the Corsair Sabre Pro. I'd have to recommend this mouse for large hands or medium. I think it could be good for a lot of people. It's a great palm grip mouse, great claw grip mouse, and I also think you could get away with fingertipping it. The only thing is it does get a little bit wider around the edges. So yeah, I would say mostly it's going to be for a palm claw. But man, Corsair, you've really done a good job. I'd like to congratulate you. You've really knocked it out of the park with the quality and the performance of this thing. I feel like this is the best ergo I performed with so far. You know, combined with the 8K snappiness, the buttons feeling light but tactile and also responsive, and the side buttons, you know, it's for the price, it's got everything you'd want, and I'd recommend this to anyone with large hands. To be honest with you, it's one that you've got to try to really know how good it is, because the shape is that good. It's just a brilliant shape in my opinion. So guys, that is my review of the Corsair Sabre Pro. Hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more videos like this, just hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let me know down below in the comments if you want to see more videos like this and different reviews and different products you want me to review. I've got the Zowie ZA12B, which is another mouse that I picked up after this one because I was like, damn, the grip is just, the hump is just so good for my aim. I don't know, and you know, this mouse as an ergo is just so good. Like, it just really inspired me to try more mice with a good hump at the back, because it is just like an improved 403. Like, if you guys love the 403, I can almost guarantee you're gonna love this mouse. You really gotta give it a try. And many other people who just like large ergos, like the EC people, like if you want a bit more palm support, get on this mouse now. It's so good, honestly. But yeah guys, that is my review of the Corsair Sabre Pro. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.